Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Board Game Buy. So this is a series where I talk about all the new board games that I purchased during a particular month. This month being January 2022. So I have 12 new games here, some being brand new, some being old classics. And yeah, so we've got a good range of games there. But before I get into talking about the games that I purchased, I just want to give a shout out to Kayenda.co.uk who sponsor the channel. So if you live in the UK and you regularly buy board games, be sure to check out their great website. But let's get into the game. So first off, Nova Luna, which is a pretty recent release by Uwe Rosenberg. This one is another family-friendly game, a drafting, or kind of a tile drafting and little tableau building style game, a very puzzly one that almost rings bells of games like Patchwork or New York Zoo, where you're going around this rondel, going 1 to 3 spaces, picking up these tiles, building them up in front of you, and all these tiles have different objectives on them. So, for example, this one here, which is going to need to touch 3 blue tiles, and they can either touch directly or you can kind of trace paths through them. And once you do that, you're going to place a disc on this particular objective, and it's going to be a race to get rid of as many discs as you can. And it also has that cool time track mechanism where wherever you take a certain tile, it's going to give you move you a certain amount of spots around the rondel, and as long as you are in front of another player, then you're not going to get another turn. So I do like that mechanism. Again, pretty much a carbon copy of Patchwork. But this one, I have played it. Very simple and easy to digest. And I'm going to be a bit coy on my thoughts because I should be ready for review pretty soon. So that is Nova Luna. Next up, I have Fantastic Factory. So this is another, I suppose, a Gateway Plus level engine building style game, but one that uses cards and dice, and you're basically trying to build up this little tableau of cards to convert resources into other resources with the ultimate goal of gaining points. But as I said, you're going to get these cards, you can use these cards as currency. So you've got that multi-use aspect of things, and then you're going to be placing dice on different spots, either on your little headquarters here to get cards, to get the different resources, or you can actually start using them on the cards themselves, and they might need certain criteria, again, to get more points, etc. And then you're using cards to, mitigate the luck, etc. of those dice. So very simple, clean mechanisms, loads of variability here. I think I've got all the different expansions in this particular set. So yeah, I just want to play this a few more times before I get my thoughts out, but that will be coming soon. So that is Fantastic Factories. Next up, I have a game I don't know too much about, to be honest. This one is the Golden Ages. So I've heard some good things about this game. This is an older Quinid design, but this one is a Civilization style game, and I heard this one was a good in the same category as Progress, Evolution of Technology, which I actually reviewed last month, that I really enjoyed, and I heard this one is, again, somewhat comparable to that. So I kind of had a bit of an urge to try some of these almost more accessible Civ style games. But yeah, this one looks like it has some kind of tile placement element to it as well, some card play, and again, it looks like you've got a little engine building element to it as well, and with your own player board. So again, that's pretty much all I know about this one. I've just heard some good things, haven't really looked into the particulars and how the game actually plays, but I'm excited to try it because, again, if it's anything like Progress, it's going to be a hit with me. So that is the Golden Ages. Next up, another older game with Brussels 1893. So I've been on the hunt for this game for a long time. I know there's going to be a new reprint this year with the expansion involved, but I got this one at a really good price, so I couldn't really turn that down. So I kind of had to, jump on that. But this one is another pretty involved Euro, as you have this grid of cards and you can kind of divide this board up. You're getting pointed different ways using this little track here. I haven't really looked at the rules for this one for a long time. I remember watching it years and years ago. But I know I was very intrigued by it. Always been wanting to get this one, and very excited to finally get it. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame that the new one's coming out soon, but as I said, once I got it at this really good price, I couldn't turn it down. I recently reviewed the card game version of this one, which I enjoyed, but I thought it was just a few pieces missing for that complete puzzle of a game. But yeah, this one I'm hoping fixes some of the issues I had with the card game version. So yeah, finally very happy to get this one in my collection. That is Brussels 1893. Next up, another brand new game. This one is Tabanussi Builders of Ur. So this one has finally been released in the UK. This is the newest T game by Daniel Ticini and Board and Dice, and it's another dice drafter. So if you're familiar with games such as Teotihuacan, Tekenyu, Trismegistus, this one is the next in that line. And those games are always pretty much my most anticipated game of the year, each year, and it's pretty much a banker now that one of these is going to come out. But you are trying to build up these cities, and this one seems to have a lot more player interaction embedded in the mechanisms, as when you build things you almost have to lay the foundation for other players, or at least you're incentivized to do so, and then you're kind of getting powers as the game goes on. It kind of has a mechanism similar to the one in Tekenyu with this kind of cross-hatching system, and I really like the spin on the dice drafting in this game, because you take, when you draft a die, you're going to get the resources relating to the colour of that die, but that also means that the pip value is the area that you have to go on your next turn. And I think that's a really cool, very simple idea. And to be honest, I've not played this one yet, but I have read the rules. I'm quite happy with the rules. And it sounds from the rules that this is a bit more accessible than the other games. But I could be wrong on that, because it's still pretty involved. And sometimes in practice, games play differently as they do read in the rulebook. But that is Tabanussi Builders of Ur. Very happy to finally get that one. And talking about games I'm finally happy to get, I have Bora Bora. So this has been a real grail game for me for a long time. This is an older Stefan Feld game, and it's a dice placement style game. Just trying to tip this over slowly so I don't put everything everywhere. But yeah, this one you are putting these dice in different spots. I think some spots are better with low values, some are better with high values. You're increasing your presence on the board. This has all the clockwork Steffenfeld style mechanisms, and I think this one is going to be a big hit for me. I'm not going to go too far into the details and things, but yeah, this one has been one of my long chased after games. I want to at least try every Steffenfeld games, and this one was one of the ones right at the top of that list that I've been eager to try, and I'm going to try and get this one played pretty sharpish. That is Bora Bora. Next up, we're going to go into something smaller with Stella. So Stella, I've heard some good things in terms of being a very clever, thinky little card game. And this one, I have played this one quite a few times now, so I'm pretty much ready to review it. But this one, you are basically building up this little tableau of cards on this big telescope. And you have a lot of restrictions. So you have to put the same type of card next to each other, or at least touching each other. And all these cards have multiple uses. So this one here, you got the kind of suit type. You've got these stars, which is going to be what you want to get into your telescope. But also you've got the numbers, which are going to be good for area majorities in the telescope. But then you also want to be trying to build these runs of cards as well, because that's going to be the multiplier on what you're going to times those stars by. And it has this really weird drafting system that's quite obtuse, very different. But I'm quite looking forward to showing my thoughts on this one, because it is so different, if anything else. So that is Stella. Also, an older card game with 4 seasons. So this is by Team Cyan, who I recently obtained Elements, which is a game I quite enjoyed, actually. A very simple, little, almost like a blackjack style game. But this one has the I split, you choose mechanism, as you have a whole bunch of these cards, 4 different suits, ranging from 1 to 3. And you are basically picking 2 of these cards from your hand, giving them to your opponent, and they're going to choose to either put them on their almost bidding side, or the actual as points in the centre of the table. And you've got to be really careful how you divide that one out. So a pretty simple game, very straightforward, and it uses that kind of I pick you, or I split you choose mechanism, which not many games do. So I do like that mechanism, and this game is very simple to learn and understand. And I'll be ready to share my thoughts on that one soon as well. So that is 4 seasons. Going back to some more involved games now, and another classic with Kaylas. So I've been quite certain that I wanted this version of Kaylas rather than the newer one. I'm not quite sure why, but probably because I got some older Istari games and I wanted this one to fit the set. But this one is considered as one of the great worker placement games. So a very cutthroat game from that era of gaming where they've got a lot of take that mechanisms in this one, particularly as you are going down this road using these different worker placement spots. But if you put this particular player piece in a certain area, it's going to cut off a certain part of the board, which can really throw players under the bus and make them waste their turns. And on top of that, you're doing all the normal Euro trappings, you know, building a cathedral, I think, and stuff like that. But yeah, this has been one of the games that has just evaded me. I'm not quite sure why it has. Always wanted to try it, but for some reason or another, I haven't picked it up until now, but very happy to get it now. And I want to get this one played and add it to my repertoire. So I've got a feeling I'll like it. I tend to like games of this era. I've not really played any Astari games that I haven't at least enjoyed. So hopefully that is going to be another one. Third last, I have Zhan Guan. So this is by What's Your Game? And this is another pretty involved Euro, which you probably expect from the channel. But this one, you have this really cool card system as you are either playing them in front of you into kind of player board and adding them as almost like an engine building style thing, or you can play them onto the board to get one of the basic actions. But all these cards have a unique number on them, and to take certain actions you have to play higher than the card already played there, or lower to take other actions. And then you're building up this Great Wall of China, getting points in different ways. I've not really played a game by Watch Your Game that I haven't enjoyed. I mean, I very much like Astari. So yeah, other titles such as Signore, Vasco da Gama, they've all been big hits for me. And this one I think is a touch heavier than those, but excited to try it. So that is Zhan Guan. Penultimately, I have another new game with Boon Lake. So this is the newest Alexander Pfister design, one of his heavier games as well, on that Maracaibo Great Western Trail level. And I think this one has, again, a bit of shared DNA to those games. You have your own little upgrade board here. It has this kind of Terra Mystica feel where you're putting things onto the board, getting upgrades as you go. I love this action selection system where you're taking a strip of actions and I think they move to the bottom of the column and so on. So I like that system. Generally, I enjoy Alexander Pfister games. I certainly do like some more than the others. And up until this point, Maracaibo seems to be the kind of encapsulating game of his. I've not really any games of that type. Maracaibo seems to have kind of scratched that itch for me. So I'm hoping this is different enough to Maracaibo to warrant keeping both, because I want to see something a bit different now from Pfister, and I'm hoping that Boon Lake could be it. So excited to try it. Why wouldn't I be? That is Boon Lake by Alexander Pfister. And the final game I'm going to talk about, I picked up, is Celtis, which is an older Reiner Knizia game that I think was the inspiration for Lost City. So this one, you are using that card system where you are very carefully trying to form a hand of cards and play them in chronological order or numerical order in order to climb the tracks in this game. And when you're climbing tracks, you're getting bonuses and points as you go. And as you start these tracks, you're going to suffer negative points. So again, it's got that Lost Cities feel where you need to at least put a bit of investment in there to start paying dividends. It seems like another family-friendly game. I've not got that one actually in person yet, but it is on its way. So I've put the graphic up for that one. But that concludes all the new to me games that I picked up in January 2022. So a big range of games here. Got some light stuff, old stuff, new stuff, and hopefully I just need to find the time to get these played. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit like and subscribe to my channel and check out my other videos too. And for everyone else, I'll see you next time on Chairman of the Board. Bye.